Hi guys, Tom here. I've got a fun video for you today because we are trying something very unique, something that is somewhat new and exciting because the world of electric cars is definitely getting hotter and hotter every day with more and more new models. But if you're a car enthusiast, there's not a whole lot you can do to really hop them up and then make them faster. Or so I thought, because I'm here with our Smart Electric and I've discovered something really cool. There is a company, believe it or not, that will sell you a power tuning kit for your Smart Electric. That's right. Here it is. It's made by a company called Steinbauer, and they've sent us a unit to play around with and test. So basically, we are tuning this little electric car and making it quicker. And quicker is always better. So I'm gonna bring this over to our mechanic, Toby, over at German Auto. He's gonna install it, and then we're gonna do some 0 to 60 testing, see if we get any quicker after the tune. Alright, so we're here at German Auto with our man Toby. This guy's a real wizard when it comes to fixing stuff. Have you ever installed a tune in an electric car? I don't think I have.
Nope, this would be a first.
For sure, so let's kind of take a look at what this is going to be like, because this is going to be a first for both of us, I think. So it's a box, it looks like.
Oh yeah, it's basically what I'd call is a piggyback system.
A piggyback,
So
okay.
basically your main computer wiring harness factory would plugged into one thing. That actually plugs in to this module, which then piggybacks and plugs into the original stuff.
Oh, that's cool.
So it kind of is the in-between.
Gotcha.
And it's, you know, basically faking the original computer out.
So when you're doing, you know, tuning with gas cars, for example, with like a turbo engine, is there anything similar to this, or is it all done through the OBD port?
There would be a similar item to this, but it would be, of course, a lot different beast just because of it. But they call them piggybacks as well, where it's kind of an in-between. Unplug it, you plug it in, and then you take this and you plug it back into the original spot.
Interesting.
Underneath here is going to be the electric drive motor on this thing and all the electric items. So you basically got to just lift this up gently and get underneath the carpet here. You gently pull it up here, and you can see actually, you know, there's a cover in the way. So you're going to need something to spin it. You know, say you only got a key in your pocket, that'll do the job. Get in this flathead spinner, quarter turn, pops open, slide it out. That's your electric drive motor and all the assembly and coolant hoses, AC system. All that's included. Right here is the conversion kit that actually installed here. You can see they recommended zip tying it back to the original connector, zip tying it to the coolant hose, and actually had to install it down there in the fender well, the actual module box, which is kind of hard to see there. That was one thing that they did not supply, was the zip ties for the project. Other than that, it was easy install. You actually go into the passenger floorboard, disconnect the power to the main 12-volt battery. After that, you come back here, disconnect the electrical connector. This is the main motor connector. Unplug that, and you actually have to remove 2 pins from 8 and 9 on the connector. After you remove the pins, you actually are supplied with a new connector. You repin those into the new connector. When you're done with that, they actually give you another connector that repins and goes back into the original connector. So that's basically plug and play after that. You basically plug those in, and then you have to ground one wire out to the block and power it up here on the power side of things, 12 volt. And after that, you zip tie it in position and relocate the module and plug it in on that end of things. One big plug in on that bulkhead. There you go. Lots of power, real fast. Took about 30 minutes all in all to do that, and it didn't really fight me at all. I enjoy tinkering with stuff like this because not every day you can say you get to put a little, you know, inline chip into an electric vehicle.
We're back with the smart car, the Smart Electric Drive that now has the Steinbauer power module on it. If you're wondering how much the install cost, it was $70.88, and it took half an hour to install. Welcome to the Smart 42 Electric Drive, and I've gone ahead and unplugged the Steinbauer power module. So this car is now completely stock. Once again, I'm gonna run 3 0 to 60 tests, completely stock, get a baseline time, and then plug it back in and see if we get any extra performance boost from that power module. Accelerate using our GPS timer in 3, 2, 1, floored. All right, pretty good. Kind of a gradual takeoff, but very smooth. There's 60 indicated, and there is 60 on the Solo DL, 9.88 on the first run. Let's turn around, do it a couple more times, and then I'll get you the average. The Smart Electric Drive with the stock Smart Tune averaged 9.94 seconds from 0 to 60 over 3 runs in an average of 523 feet. This is actually a very good result because Smart said that this little car would do 0 to 60 in about 11.5 seconds when new, so certainly in stock configuration, it is definitely a little bit underrated. It was very consistent across all 3 runs as you'd expect with an electric car. That's a little bit off my best time 0 to 60, but I think part of that is because it's just so hot out here. Anyways, I'm now going to tune the Smart using the Steinbauer power module, and we'll see if we can gain any power back. Now this kit is supposed to unlock 20% more power and torque from the Smart Electric Drive, and we're about to find out what that means in the real world. Now right off the bat, I can tell you the regenerative braking is a lot stronger. They say up to 50% more braking force with the regen, which means I should be putting more power back into the battery, which could potentially impact my overall range. We'll have to do some more testing on that one, but same 3 runs, same day, same road, same temperature. Let's see if this power module has actually made the Smart faster. Still not using AC, still have a good charge in the battery. Full throttle in 3, 2, 1, floored. All right, well, I'll tell you what, from 20 to 35, it does feel like it pushes you back in your seat harder. 9.20 on that first run. Of course, I did let the car settle while I was connecting the kit back up, so in theory, the motor should have cooled down. We're trying to keep all the variables the same. After running the Smart Car with the Steinbauer power module installed, we averaged 9.19 seconds from 0 to 60, and it also accomplished 60 miles an hour in a shorter distance, averaging 483 feet tuned versus 523 feet stock. So all in all, the car got about 3/4 of a second quicker from 0 to 60 on average. Now on the road, the Smart Car feels pretty different, and there's a lot more zip between 20 and 40 miles an hour. It really takes off good. It feels a lot more like an electric car now. Before, it had kind of a gradual acceleration curve. Now when you plant it, it just shoots you forward, which is cool. Over about 40 miles an hour, it doesn't feel all that much different, but one thing that does feel extremely different is the regen. So I still have 3 levels of regen just like before, but when I jack it all the way up and let off the throttle, the nose dives down sharply because it slows down really quickly. Let's talk a little bit more about the power module for the Smart Electric Drive. Acceleration gains, we saw about 3/4 of a second time difference between the stock Smart and the Tune Smart. Now in terms of the actual regen, it feels a lot different, especially in the highest regen setting. The car slows down quick. I've had a few other people drive this car just so I could get a couple other interpretations with the power module installed, and the general consensus is from 0 to about 15 miles an hour it feels the same. The launch is the same as it was stock. From 15 to about 40, definitely quicker. It throws you back in the seat harder. It is a lot more fun, and then from about 40 onward it feels once again about the same. Price, this is very important. This module costs $777, and that includes both the power upgrade and the regen upgrade. And there will be a kit coming out soon for $555, which will upgrade the regen, but leave the actual acceleration the same. I'm really curious to see what this will be like in terms of range. Are we going to see any range improvements with that increase in the regen force? I think there's some more testing to do there. And the other thing to keep in mind is still kind of an uncharted territory for electric vehicles. How will the motor and the actual powertrain hold up to this additional power being pumped through it? Well, I do have some theories on that. I've read online that the Smart Electric Drive uses the same powertrain as the Fiat 500e. However, in the 500e, that vehicle is rated at 83 kilowatts versus the stock 55 in this. So I'm hoping that we do have some buffer in the performance with this motor. That means long term we're not going to have any kind of issues, but we'll have to see for sure because we're going to hold on to this car for quite a bit longer. The other thing, of course, I'm concerned about is the rest of the vehicle holding up. This 2015 Smart Electric Drive is out of warranty, and that does make me a little bit more comfortable throwing this module onto this vehicle, whereas something like a Tesla Makes me a little bit more nervous because they own the keys to the kingdom. They can shut off supercharging or update capabilities or even ban it potentially from accepting service at their facility. I'm not saying they would do that, but you know, that is kind of their potential. Smart doesn't even exist in the US anymore, so I'm not particularly stressed about that over some kind of over-the-air update they're going to turn my car off, but we'll have to wait and see. Let me know in the comment section below, would you buy this kit for $777? Is it worth it? And would you consider doing it to your EV? As always, this is Tommy with the Fastlane Car. Head over to tflcar.com for the latest and greatest in new car reviews.